Hey, Loco sports fans. Happy Heritage Thursday. The Heritage is underway. It was a birdie fest at Harbor Town today. Wes got to spend some time out there tracking some of the leaders and some of the other big names. So we'll talk a lot about the Heritage tonight and catch you up on what else has been going on around the Loco here on a new episode of the Loco Sports Lowdown. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined by Wes Kerr and Marcus Walsh from WHHI TV. How you lovely gentlemen doing this evening?
I'm doing well. A busy Thursday over at Harbor Town, and I thought the conditions and the weather, absolutely perfect. And you kind of saw the scores reflect that, especially early. We saw a couple of names that we kind of talked or glossed over maybe a bit, came out and really, seized the opportunity to put some good scores together in the morning. And we'll definitely talk about some of them as well. But one of them we talked a lot about, not just this year, but for a couple years now, is the Swede Ludwig Oberg with an impressive 63 to take a one-shot lead over Harris English and Victor Hovland. Hovland, another guy who is right there at the top of the world golf rankings, and you expected to put up a fight. He certainly did, but we're seeing most of these names. I mean, you kind of expected them to be in the mix. Maybe a few surprises. Michael Brennan, who put out the low round of the day early with 665. So we'll see if how long he can stay in the mix and stay around. But I think Oberg is going to be here to stay in contention in the top 10. I don't think that I was pretty impressed by his consistency, the way he played, the way he struck the ball today. It's going to be difficult for him to really slip out of it by the way that he attacked on Thursday. Now, crazy things can happen, but I think Oberg is showing why he's a real threat to really break through in the tour and win this event. And it's shaping up nicely for him, but certainly just getting started on the Thursday. But great to be with y'all. And once again, trying to fight some allergies here on this Thursday night.
They've been wild for sure.
And so it's just it's been so dry, and so
we need rain big time.
Hovering around.
Let's get some rain.
That course.
Who knows?
I mean, it's got to be playing pretty hard and fast. I would think.
I would.
I don't remember the last time we actually got a decent amount of rain just on the island. It's been just
no. I was looking at it last night, and Bluffton and Hardyville are like about a third of the average year-to-date rain total so far for the year.
Yeah, we're definitely
it's usually like 11 to 12 inches, and we're at like 4 inches, and almost all of it came in January and February. March and April have been just dry as a bone, less than an inch of rain. So we're crazy dry right now.
I expect.
So I imagine that course
that to change. Maybe like the next couple of weeks.
So.
I feel once we get to May, I think it's gonna. But I'll tell you what, it's good to see that as you say, the Chamber of Commerce like weather. Gonna get a little bit warmer tomorrow in the lower 80s, but today was perfect. Mid to upper 70s, and you could really see the big names in this tournament kind of take advantage of that and really deliver in the couple of early windows of the tee times here today. And exciting if you're able to get out there early. You're able to see some low scores, particularly on some of the groups. So I kind of highlighted that would be there in contention to put up some good scores, and they certainly delivered. And now, we'll see who can respond on day two. Especially, you look at a player like Scotty Scheffler, who went up and down first day. Crazy story about Scheffler. I don't know if you saw this, but he hit his first tee shot of the day on one out of bounds, which is very uncharacteristic for a player like Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, so shook that off. I mean, look, even he didn't have his best stuff, and still, he stays in contention with a nice 3 under 68. So that's Scotty Scheffler for you. Even when he's able to. Or even when he does make a couple of, minuscule errors, or in this case, a wayward shot on one, he'll find a way to bounce back and deliver some tremendous approach shots, which we saw as his round went on. He also missed like a 4 or 5 footer on 7 for par, which was also pretty surprising. But they are human as well, just like we are when you go out to the course on the week.
He seems like a robot sometimes, but he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously you cannot count him out. He's at -3.
Yeah, -3's got you tied for 20th, by the way. There's a lot of good scores out there today at Harbortown. And also at -3 is Bluffton's Brian Campbell. Remember, we discovered last year when he won that he lived in Bluffton, like he had just kind of quietly become like a fixture at Colleton River, and we had no idea he was right here under our nose. So of course we keep tabs on him, call him a local now, and he's off to a good start with the 68 in round 1, and then he gets to go home and sleep in his own bed and roll back out to Harbortown tomorrow. So
nice.
Home game, gotta love that. But yeah, lots of names in there. -4, you got the likes of Colin Morikawa, Keegan Bradley. Then at 5 under, you got Siwoo Kim, Sepp Straka, long hitter the Straka, Sung Jae Im, Robert McIntyre, who made himself famous at the Masters by flying the bird to a heckler. That was good times. And then at 6 under, tied for 4th, you've got former champ Matt Fitzpatrick, Andrew Novak, Ricky Fowler.
Of course, who lost in the playoff to Justin Thomas last year. And remember, he was one of the big storylines. Wofford guy. I thought he had an opportunity to pull out at the end, lost in that epic playoff to JT. But, he looks he just knows this course very well, and he loves playing here. Evident by the way he started, and, certainly keep an eye on him. What a close by Fitzpatrick. I was right there watching a couple of his final few holes, or like kind of bouncing between a couple of groups near the end. But 3 birdies from 15 to 17 to help close it out, and way to turn it on down the stretch. He is a guy who can get hot in moments' notice, and another guy who just always seems to play very well here. Obviously, your champion back in 2023, and this is one of the courses that he really has a fun time being a part of. And I
grew up coming here, right? Yeah, like as a kid, he vacationed here, so he has all good vibes. Good dude too.
How about Ricky with the 6 under? That was
Ricky coming in. I was
gonna say that's a huge start for him to really get things going for the week. Great to see him have some success here, and when he's playing well, golf is in a pretty good spot because he's had some really good rounds, really good tournaments in his career, and overall, when he's on, he's one of the best out there. Doesn't matter where the
people may not remember, but he has won in the Low Country before. He won the Players Amateur back when he was, I believe, going into his freshman year at Oklahoma State. He was just a baby, a little mop top high school kid, and I followed him around for 4 days at Belfair, and got to know him and his mom pretty well at that time. Obviously, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
But yeah, that was one of the cooler things about one of the amazing things
just
about the Players
golf around here.
Guys that you covered came through there. They all came back for the
another one, Brian Harmon.
Harmon, another Players Am champ. But Oberg leading at 8 under, but lots of competition on the leaderboard. Harris English and Victor Hovland both at 7 under. You mentioned Michael Brennan is among that group, tied for 4th at 6 under. Gary Woodland in there too. He's such a great story. Just won a few weeks ago. I don't usually support Kansas Jayhawks, but I support that one wholeheartedly. So yeah, lots of good names high on the leaderboard, and some big names down at the bottom of the leaderboard. Justin Thomas, the defending champ, and the fairway Jesus, Tommy Fleetwood. He was not finding the fairways today. Both of them 5 over 76.
It's kind of like
stuff right there.
Harbortown giveth and Harbortown taketh away.
Yeah, I mean that's you can just say sometimes such a fine line between those solid rounds and a round that just kind of slipped away. A triple on 11, which is normally one of the easier par 4s. It seems most of the time, but it looks like he went wide left off the tee and ended up posting a 7 on that par 4 11th, and then bogeyed the next one. So he kind of lost a little momentum there, and just couldn't recover. I mean, he was even par through 10, and then that triple on 11. That's the nature of golf. I mean, it can, one bad shot can really snowball, and even for an experienced player, it's difficult to come back when you have that snowball effect of missed opportunities out there. And credit a player like Scheffler who's able to bounce back from spots like that. And obviously that was kind of a different circumstance, but yeah, very unexpected for such a solid player, for a guy like Tommy Fleetwood, who we kind of thought that he had it wasn't a terrible Masters, but it kind of felt like he wanted to reset and play well this week. Had that bogey on one, and just couldn't get off to the hot start, and then that really sunk him early in that second nine. And unfortunately, you can play yourself out of contention in one day and
That's exactly what I was going to say. We talk about it with baseball and softball in these parts early in the year. With baseball and softball, you're not necessarily going to win anything right away, but you sure can lose it. Certainly, Major League Baseball is the same way.
Yep.
And you have a bad day your first day on the golf course, you're not going to win, but you certainly can pull yourself out of contention very quickly. And
you can't win.
I don't want to say for sure that Tommy Fleetwood's done that, or certainly Scotty Scheffler, but they need to have really good days tomorrow.
Oh, Scheffler, you meant Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas. I'm
sorry.
JT, Scheffler,
JT,
solid
but Tommy Fleetwood.
No, you're. I think both of you guys were dancing around the phrase that I was thinking of, which is you can't win it on Thursday, but you can certainly lose.
You can lose it
Thursday, and hopefully they didn't do too much damage to themselves. I mean, they probably did. In reality, I mean, it's looking like the cut line. Well, there is no cut.
There is no cut. There's no cut.
Yeah.
No.
Never mind.
The imaginary cut line isn't the cut line at all.
Yeah, there is no cut line, so never mind. You're getting paid no matter what. Just slog it out.
Right. I mean, look, that's the good nature of it, is that you get to play through the weekend no matter what, with this elevated status. So you get that check no matter what. But certainly, you thought that Fleetwood was hoping for a little bit more from this weekend after, not the best showing at the Masters, but an opportunity to potentially bounce back. And that is the nature of this tour, so competitive, and one bad round can, especially like that, can really put you behind the eight ball and then some. So, Fleetwood's a great player, and just ran into a couple of tough sequences in the middle of his round, and that can definitely do it for you. Justin Thomas, though, as well, defending champion coming back, certainly not the way you want to come out after winning the event that you played right here a year ago, and also with a couple of rough holes finish. A double on 15 on that par 5, which once again is a hole you can normally attack, and it looked like he may have gotten a little too aggressive there. I think it looks like he went for it after that tee shot. Tee shot went to the right, and then he missed all the way to the left, or missed wide left as he was trying to play some hero ball, and maybe in front of the crowd when he was already 3 over. So he was kind of getting desperate, and you want to try to go all in for a shot like that. He couldn't quite connect on it. He missed it wide to the left, and that's where it really snowballs for you. But it wasn't a great start for him either. 3 bogeys in a row on 6, 7, 8. I mean, 7's a tough hole, 8's a tough hole. But that's a part of the course where you really have to be fine with your ball striking, and this course will make you pay if you miss your spots. If you miss your fairways, you miss the greens. This Pete Dye course will they will haunt you for the rest of
or as players often remind us, it's not good enough to hit the fairway at Harbortown. You have to put it on the right side of the fairway, because sometimes you're in the fairway but you're dead. So you gotta know where to place it, and sometimes longer isn't better. Sometimes shorter is better to give you a better angle.
That is why some golfers are not as big of a fan of Harbortown, but those who really have that chess approach with how you position your balls, and not always have to drive it the long way. I mean, they do really well here, and
the shot shapers. Yep. The shot shapers love this place. The guys, because you have to be creative, you have to find different ways to get the ball around the golf course. But look who's straggling in late. is in the studio and everything. It's Max Araj. What's up, buddy?
Max, what's
I'm
happening?
late.
Hey, it's all good. You're
late.
here.
I
You're
am
here
here.
now.
Yep.
Welcome.
Yeah.
While we welcome Max, let's shout out our presenting sponsors. We got Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, and our official real estate closing attorney, presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, and just great people over at Mickelson Law Firm. Call on them for your legal needs in downtown Bluffton. And, of course, WHHI TV, who has lent us Marcus Walsh once again tonight, and we appreciate Marcus and all the folks over at WHHI, especially the sports team. They're our partners in local sports. And quite frankly, the sports team is the team at WHHI. It's all hands on deck all the time. Everybody does everything. Utility players galore in the lineup over at WHHI, which we love it. But yeah, great to work with WHHI, our partner in local sports coverage. Max, how you been, buddy?
I've been all right. It's been a busy couple weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously, full swing over at Beaufort County Parks and Rec. Spring sports are fully underway now.
It is the busy time.
It's the busy time of the year. Now the next focus is getting ready for district tournaments for baseball, which crazily enough are not super far away from now. So
no,
it's going to be big. And then, of course, Bluffton's hosting a bunch of state tournaments for baseball and softball this year. Softball. So we got to prepare for that because I'm probably going to be down there for those. But
we were planning on playing in one of the softball tournaments, but we have a broken wrist over here.
Oh man,
it's going to require surgery.
I was going to say, on top of that, of course, covering USCB baseball and softball the last couple of weeks, alongside Wes for a couple of them, and then being, of course, on call for the really fantastic series this past weekend for USCB softball over Middle Georgia. Despite the tough way to lose in that third game, those first two games, they were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so close to getting that sweep, but looking forward to seeing how they do against Augusta. They'll be at Augusta this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, they've put themselves in a really good spot heading into the last couple of weeks. Obviously, a very difficult spot to be in because everybody is so close in positions 1 through 9. On that conference standing.
It's going to come down to that these last couple of weeks.
And for USCB softball, being that they're sitting on that teeter-totter of, that 7-8 spot, for the tournament, that they have to be really careful with how these next couple weekends go for them. But
on the flip side, as I said earlier, if you can win these next couple of series against Augusta, you can take the 5.
There's some upward mobility there.
Yeah. It would be a big momentum. And if you win the next couple of series, or at least get 2 out of 3 games over the next couple of series, it puts you in a spot where I think they're going to get out of it and come into the conference tournament with either the 7 or 8 seed. Currently sitting 7th right now after their great day on last Saturday. Had a really good 2 games. Put them in a good spot because Lander had lost their 2 games on Saturday, which moved USCB from 8th to 7th above Flagler for that 7 seed and possibly a bid into the tournament. So it put them in a good spot. That loss on Sunday to Middle Georgia, I was, it just kind of fell apart for them in that final inning. I mean, they had the lead going into the top of the 7th. All they needed was 3 outs, and Middle Georgia scored 2 runs to take a lead, and that was that right there. USCB couldn't come back, and unfortunately lost that game 3. But winning that series was huge for them, despite not getting the sweep. So they're coming into a very important series against Augusta this weekend.
Once again, we've talked about this earlier, I believe last week, but I wasn't here, I wasn't on the call, I was away. But once again, Cassie Brundage with another big time performance in that second game, which helped clinch the series.
Well, and the funny thing is, Kylie Fisher started game number 2 for USCB in that series, and she pitched really well. And then it started kind of getting out of hand for her. Cassie Brundage comes in and shuts the door on Middle Georgia. And when I mean shuts the door, I 100% mean shuts the door. Struck out the side, I think, of the top of the 6th. I think she shut the door, struck out the side, put USCB in a really good position to win that game. She was.
Maybe they've found something there with a little, change of.
Kylie,
just that 1-2 punch of Fisher and Brundage.
Yeah, I mean, some pitchers prefer to come in relief, and others prefer to start the game.
Well, and I think
and maybe
I
they've
think
just
they-
found a good combination there.
I might agree with you on this one, Justin. I think they have found something. Kylie Fisher had a really good game. Wes and I were on the call
Yep, she was
for
fantastic.
that in that double header against Edward Waters, and she
Yep.
really pitched well. And then, I was expecting Cassie Brundage to be in game 2, and I had said that in game 1. I was like, expect Cassie Brundage to be in the circle to start. They put Kylie Fisher, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Let's see where this goes. Kylie Fisher pitched strong. I allowed 3 runs, but she pitched really strong. And then
I think
when she started to struggle, you put Cassie Brundage in, and she shut the door on them.
I think that Kylie Fisher is starting to earn some trust from Kodieski from what she has done, especially in the Edward Waters game. And then, maybe not her best outing, but I'd like to see her out there again and to continue to build her up as a young pitcher. I think you can't rely on both of them like a long term unless they're absolutely cooking, which you'd love to see. But I think it's got to be a mix of those two. Obviously when Madison Murphy's
say is this for those of you who are going to watch USCB softball this weekend as they're up just north of us in Augusta. Keep an eye on that second game. Obviously, we know Madison Murphy's probably going to start games 1 and 3. I wouldn't be shocked if Kylie Fisher starts game 2, and then if need be, bring Cassie Brundage into it, because I think that worked for them this past week. Because I think Kylie Fisher pitched really strong as a starter on both Tuesday last week against Edward Waters. Came in and pitched a solid outing. I mean, yes, 3 runs given up, but that's much better than what you would expect. And at least what we've seen in games 2s of series this year, which is where USCB has struggled the most in terms of pitching, is that second game of a series. And so I think if this is going to work, I'm intrigued to see if they do the same thing they did this past weekend in game 2 against Augusta. They put Kylie Fisher in the circle to start. If she starts to struggle a little bit, bring Cassie Brundage in and see if she can shut the door and possibly give USCB a chance at winning a series.
It's just good to have different looks at least in the circle, and because we've seen them before relying Cassie Brundage to go all the way, and Brundage has been good in certain spots, especially when she has come in late in the game. Like, she's a much better reliever than she is a starter. I think the way they've really kind of developed that arc of in terms of who starts the game, who finishes, or at least your starter being a player who's starting to develop, but you can get good mileage out of. I'm excited to see what this pitching staff can do. Is obviously you have your ace in Madison Murphy, but you have this combination of someone who's really starting to try to prove herself, and someone who has been here a lot and just knows how to deliver in a big time spot late in the game, because she has done that before, not just this year, but in the past as well, where she's been able to give you 1 or 2 really solid innings late in the game that can help you come back and win it, or find a way to shut it down in a close game, and that's what Cassie Brundage can do. So I expect them to lean on her a lot, but I just can't. I don't think you can have a situation where you can depend on her to go the distance, because she's just not that kind of pitcher, but she is still very effective in her role.
Right.
So
that's what it seems like. Neither one of them is the type to give you the full game, but together they might be a good combination, especially with the change of pace and different looks. So hopefully they got something there that's going to keep them cooking and climb the standings. And
it's been very exciting this year, because I think the last 2 seasons they've had a couple of just tough, close losses in conference play, and even this year they had a heartbreaker early against Lander. If you remember, they had like a 3-run lead late, and it slipped away, and then they ended up getting swept that weekend because of just the kind of snowballs on you, kind of like that triple bogey that we saw today on the Herbert. That's kind of the equivalent of that for softball. But it's good. It's good to see them bounce back and to what they have done these last couple of weekends, and now they go back on the road against the Augusta team, which I think they have a good chance of contending in and possibly find a way to take that series. Then you go back home for senior weekend against Georgia Southwestern. And that's a really good opportunity to get to maybe even the sweep of the Hurricanes and really put yourself in a good position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. And the funny thing is, USCB is just below Augusta in those softball rankings. So these are two
Right.
very,
Yeah.
very, very
Well,
important series
yeah, it's
coming up for them. So I mean, if
forgettable.
USCB can win out somehow, like at least win 2 out of 3 games over the next 2 series.
Yeah, that's what Wes
really
was saying. If they win the next
Right.
2 series, they climb up to 5th.
Yes,
they would jump
exactly.
over
And
both.
it would be fantastic to see that, and I think they have a really good chance against Augusta this coming weekend.
I do too. All right.
How about the baseball team with a 13-4 win over Savannah State that I got to be on the call for, and
Nice.
8 unanswered runs after Savannah State cut it to 1. I gotta say, this offense, Max, you kind of called it early, you alluded to it, but they've gotten better and better. And give credit to them for a really good disciplined start on their end. They drew 5 walks in a row to start the game against this freshman pitcher that's Noah Lester, who recorded 1 out and then got yanked. He did not stay in there for long, and the Sand Sharks able to take advantage. But even so, they're only up by 1 heading into the 7th, and then the offense just completely kicked into high gear. And Andrew Walters the triple, Tyler Gundelfinger, the Peach Belt Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, coming up big. With 2 big RBIs, and I'm really excited for this top of the lineup and what they've been doing. Noah Campbell, he's been swinging the bat really well. I mentioned Gundelfinger. Then you look at some other players like Chris Levensteins, I believe it is, and then Rayner McIntyre, kind of in the game very late. Who replaced Luke Doty, who was supposed to be in the starting lineup. He looked very good, and I'm just very impressed by not just the big time hitters in this lineup, but the depth as well. Of course, Terry Dean, who has been such a big time hitter. Not just hitter, he laid out. He's a strong defensive catcher as well, but he laid down a great punt, which helps score runs, and just continues to be such a terrific, multifaceted hitter for this lineup. As a catcher, that's always a big-time bonus. You can get big-time hits from and Terry Dean, what a great addition, or just a great, big-time boost to this lineup that he has been this year. And I'm very impressed by the way this team has kind of figured stuff out these last weeks. Yeah, they might be out of contention for the playoffs, but this is exciting to see the development of what Brian Lewis is doing with this team in year 1.
You still have to play with pride too. With that question, sounds like that's what they're doing.
I think the other thing is, like, if I think he's figured out the offense, I think the pitching, we've talked about it. The pitching is the biggest issue right now, and I think if that pitching was solid, had some depth to it, and you had a starting rotation that you could rely on, I'm very positive this team would have been in definite contention for a conference seed for the conference tournament. I just think if you had that pitching, you go with the offense, because the offense is scoring runs. They're finding ways to score runs.
You're saying if they were better, they would have had a better record?
Yes, Justin, that's exactly what I'm saying. In all honesty, I think the pitching was the biggest issue this year, and I think it's because the offense was kind of there last year too. It's just the pitching has been the biggest struggle for them the last 2 seasons, and
exactly.
And I think one of the reasons why they aren't sitting here with possibly the 8th seed in the conference tournament. That's just the main reason.
From my vantage point, I sound like a broken record, but if you have numerous innings where there are multiple players on base and you can't field behind you because everybody's playing on their heels because pitchers are struggling, that's exactly what I saw last year when I called that series against North Georgia, and same deal.
Well, I would just say this: North Georgia's a juggernaut as always.
Yeah,
there's never a time.
They might be even better than they were last year.
That's a scary thought.
They've already locked up the regular season title in the conference, and they're looking like a threat.
Top 15 in the country right now.
They have certainly have a great opportunity to take this thing deep in Division II this spring. But you kind of expect North Georgia to continue to play like this in conference play. 24-3 in the Peach Belt.
Wow.
As I said, already clinched the regular season title. 35-11 overall. So it's they're
outstanding.
They're a higher level than most in the conference play. But USCB certainly the start, and Max just alluded to it. But man, that the couple of games, or maybe if the pitching was a little better, they had a chance to compete in and maybe steal a few, which could have. If you just flip a couple of games around, especially that Georgia College series, if you could have beaten Georgia College,
honestly,
could have been a completely different story. But
Yeah.
and then that Claflin game that couldn't find a way to close out in the end.
The funniest thing is when we had a couple games this year where the pitching was good. You and I, Wes, called that USC Aiken game, where obviously they had a bullpen day, but the pitching was solid throughout the game. It gave USCB opportunities to get ahead, score some runs. And then they played their next game against Columbus State, and you look at the standings right now. The second and third place teams are USC Aiken and Columbus State. You picked up wins against both of those teams, and that's because the pitching was solid that day. Like, if we had more games of solid pitching, I without a doubt, I think they would be playing for.
It's just a matter of
in the conference tournament. I
adding to that pitching depth, and that's the important.
Well, yeah, we've seen glimpses this year of what a USCB team, when they have all cylinders firing, what they can be like. I mean, we saw it against USCB.
We look back to a couple years ago, and we look back to this team a couple of years ago, and the pitching maybe a little bit better, but certainly on the same level. The question we were asking is, where is the offense going to come from? Can we find some power hitters now? And we're starting to develop some guys who can hit for extra base hits, especially what we've been seeing with Doty. We saw with Walters and even McIntyre's delivering a couple extra base hits. So the offense is in a much better spot than it has been last year, maybe even 2 years ago on this team, and that's a really exciting thought. And so now can you find a way to?
Well, if you look more recently, their win against Eckerd College this past weekend. That's a 20. They were coming into that series with a 24-9 record in Eckerd College.
I believe they were ranked as well.
Top 25 team. Yeah,
top 25 team, 23rd or something like that in the country. You pick up a really good win over them. Why? Because the pitching was there. The pitching kept them in the game and gave USCB opportunities to score runs. If this team figures their pitching out next season, I have no doubt in my mind we're going to be looking at a much better, much more efficient, much more exciting USCB baseball team next season.
Yeah. Certainly on the right track right
They're on the right track. Yep. They definitely are.
And they're showing signs of life.
Yeah.
I give hats off to Brian Lewis, because we all, I was intrigued by the hiring when they hired Brian Lewis, because I was like, well, why would you hire someone from a coaching staff that went 9-37 last year? But honestly, I think he's brought a bit more energy. He's a little more aggressive than I think the previous head coach. So I think he's brought a bit more energy to this USCB team, and maybe it's what they need as they try to build this program. And of course, eventually this program will have a new baseball field at some point, hopefully on campus. So if that becomes B, and you can build this program from here up, by the time they have that field, whenever that is, you're looking at a USCB baseball program that could be very competitive in the next few years.
Well, let me just say that the day that they move in to on-campus facilities, they will become a strong contender again. I mean, there's just no question. There's no question. When you look back at the history of this program and where it was, in just 4 years in playing for an NAIA World Series, and then 4 years later on the cusp of going back to another one and probably should have, kind of a fluky rain-soaked tournament. Like they were cooking, and the absence of facilities upgrades was really that's what led Llewellyn to move on to Pensacola. Is just he was frustrated with it. Was hard to recruit people to come play there at those facilities.
And I think the factor is just Division II is a big step
and
up.
so then the move, but you could get away with it at NAIA,
right.
But then in Division II, you're competing with a whole different caliber of quality facilities, and you're also not recruiting like as many of the kind of mercenary guys that are just like, hey, I just want to play. You're recruiting a different caliber, a different type of player, and so it's a harder sell at that level. It has been, but I think that the day that people can actually see that there's going to be a ballpark here for them to play in next year, like their recruiting profile goes way, way, way up, and they will be able to bring in transfer portal arms and things like that they're just not going to get right now. So, it'll be exciting again soon. It's been rough. It's been bleak for a few years, especially for those of us who were invested in the early years when it was really, really good. It's been tough, but I think it'll come back around.
But they do have, of course, they have a series coming up this weekend. Obviously, it doesn't matter at this point, but a series against a very strong Lander team.
It matters because you're trying to build a culture and you're trying to continue to cultivate it.
It matters if you're Brian Lewis.
It does. Yeah, and I think they want to finish the season off on a strong note, and they got two series that I think. This series with Lander, it's going to be very difficult. This is a very strong Lander team that's sitting, fourth in the standings right now, 17-10 record in conference play,
17-10,
24-18 on the season. So it's a very strong Lander team. And then next weekend in Hardyville, USCB welcomes the newest members of the Peach Belt Conference, a good rival.
No strangers.
They play each other.
No strangers to USCB baseball.
Yes,
it's a rivalry that's going to build as they continue to be in the Peach Belt Conference together across all sports. I think so. I'm excited to have Middle Georgia in the Peach Belt Conference now because I always feel like when these two teams go at it, no matter what sport it is,
we've had some good games on the baseball side for many years between those two teams. So that should be a very fun way to close out the.
Yeah, I was just going to look at. I was going to see here. I think
it's a winnable series, by the way, next weekend for Middle Georgia.
They're just a slot above us in the standings.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are fairly evenly matched.
Yeah, Middle Georgia's 9-15 in conference play, 16-27 on the season. So it's a winnable series at home for USCB.
They have played each other 23 times.
That sounds about right.
USCB's 110, Middle Georgia's 113.
Yep.
Middle Georgia won the last two. So it's been but Sand Sharks lead at home 6-5. But that one goes way back to 2015, back in the NAIA days. And we were rivals even when we didn't play in the same conference. So that's going to be a really good rivalry, I think. Middle Georgia's not far away. And we're going to be recruiting for a lot of the same kids.
Guys,
So should be cool.
But looking forward to seeing how they do against Lander. I mean, what a great opportunity to build on a very nice win over Savannah State and to see the offense. I was about to mention a couple of others. I was going to mention a couple other guys who really stood out. Alex Simmons on the mound getting the start and 4 really strong innings. Mm-hmm. You look at Carson Tillotson pitched an inning, struck out the side, and the bullpen really just doing their job. Had one slip up midway through to get Savannah State back in the game, but other than that, I mean, Asher Western, Jake Rice, Braden Wilmus, and Roy Taman. Good to see Taman come in and get the last 3 outs. It's been very encouraging, and obviously Lander's going to be a tougher test. From what we have seen, they're a very strong squad and a terrific lineup. So, they're going to be tested again, and looking forward to seeing how they will respond against a quality Peach Belt foe. And if they can seal a game or two against the Bearcats, that's a very good sign that this program is trending sharply in a good direction.
Yeah, man. Speaking of baseball, not a lot of high school baseball this week, but a decent number of games, especially skis. We got only one Region 6 4A series this week, and it's Bishop England, Colleton County, and first 2 have gone to the Bishops. But a lot of skis games and some others. Bridges Prep 19-0 over Hampton. HHCA 5-2 over Pinewood on Tuesday, and then they barreled Northwood tonight. 15-16-0.
They played on Monday against Hanahan. I was shocked to see that on.
And beat them. Beat their doors off.
Wow.
Hilton Head High beat Savannah Country Day 11-4 on Tuesday. Hilton Head Prep just pounded Patrick Henry 23-3. And then Wednesday night, last night, Bryan County 8-7 win over Bluffton. Bishop England 18-2 over Colleton. Colleton Prep 10-1 over Dorchester. And tonight's baseball, Bridges Prep 5-1 over Low Country Leadership. They keep rolling. Hilton Head Prep shut out Dorchester 8-0. Frederica Academy beat Bluffton 4-1. May River beat the Savannah Jaguars, the Savannah Athletic Association homeschool team, 7-6. Mullis called me in the middle of that game and told me they had some couple of real good pitchers and a real good catcher.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm looking at Hilton Christian's schedule right now. One of their next 2 games is against Savannah Athletic Association, so that should be really fun to watch.
We'll change the property.
The crazy thing is, you're looking at the schedule. Hilton Christian has 3 games left on their schedule, and then they're boom into the playoffs.
And then they're in the playoffs. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, it's that time.
Season.
Time,
the season ends with the trip over to JP2, which should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, it should be a fun return game in that series between those 2 teams. Just 2 games.
Definitely look forward to seeing that.
It should be a good game. 6-3 the last time those 2 played each other. So
when Frederica beat Bluffton 4-1 tonight, that's their other game. They play at Frederica on Monday.
Yeah, they drive down to St. Simon's Island to play on
Isn't Frederica where Wainwright played? I think it is.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
But yeah, let's see what they had done tonight.
Yeah, that's you mentioned that Hilton Christian Academy. That JP2 game will be on, I believe, the 23rd of a week from today. A week from today at JP2. Yep.
That's right. First day of the
NFL. Bird was only 2 for 4 tonight. Slade, he had a rough night.
Oh man, only 2 for 4. Oh,
2 for 4. I think he had 2 triples.
Guys, average went down
about most of them.
points
2
or so.
triples.
Guys,
2 for 4, 2 triples, a walk, 2 runs, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, that's
no, Justin. I think he's falling apart. Only 2 triples, man. No, we can't let that slide, man. Come on, Bird. You're better.
To be fair, that did lower his batting average going 2 for 4. He's hitting 642. He's hitting 642, so that lowered his batting average.
What was he hitting beforehand?
642.
I don't know, but he's hitting 642 now. Okay. So if he went that 2 for 4 tonight, that lowered his batting average.
It did go down.
Yeah.
Oh man,
brought it down.
Got to get more than that. Get back on that horse tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
Get back to work. Good back to work.
Got to maintain. Got to maintain.
Good grief.
Dip below 650. What a slouch.
What are we gonna do?
What in God's earth are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, guys?
I cannot wait to see him play. I have not seen him in person yet. Definitely went ahead to that JP2 Hilton Christian got a game next Thursday, but should be popping over there once playoffs start. That is a terrific place to watch a game, and it's going to be some fun atmospheres over there throughout the playoffs.
Hilton Christian's 21-1, y'all. 21-1.
Wow.
That's insane.
Who's the one loss?
Savannah Christian.
Christian. Okay. Yeah.
And they split with them. They won the other game against them. So.
Yeah. This team, I don't sleep on this.
I mean, look, I will have to.
I don't think anybody can sleep on you when you're 21.
No. There's
like how could nobody sleeping on them? Two-time defending state champs and 21-1.
No,
they ain't sneaking up on anybody.
You don't poke the bear is what you don't do.
That's what you don't do. But they're looking like the favorites to do it again at this point in skis of baseball. At this particular juncture, their offense is just on another level from you've seen, and it's just gotten better. And so I'm excited. I think that this team has become a juggernaut. It's exciting to watch. You know, it's football's a couple of down years, basketball is a couple of down years, but baseball has been the headliner for Hilton Christian Academy.
Yeah, the flagship.
By the way, I'm looking at the rankings for South Carolina this year, and all across all South Carolina and SCISA, Hilton Christian's 10th, 10th in the state, according to Max Prep.
That's state.
That's impressive.
Yeah, well, Max Prep says Hilton Prep in the same region, or the same conference, which is not correct.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Right. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's got some. There's some strange things.
But I look
out
at that
there.
list, and it's actually.
But yeah,
pretty,
I mean,
pretty strong
they're
list.
on the same level. I mean, they're higher than Gray Collegiate. They're on the same level as Airport Northwood will be. I mean, that is that's impressive company.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd they go up and play last year? Flora? They went and played somebody
Yes,
good up
they
there.
played AC
I mean,
Flora,
they
I
are the
believe.
top ranked.
Yeah, and they won. Did they
They
beat
did.
them? Or
Yeah.
I think they it was like I think it was a 2 or 3 game set that they did last year with AC4, and they won 2 out of 3 against them. I think.
Next closest Skeeza team is Pinewood Prep, and Pinewood Prep is
who Chris Academy beat the other night.
Yeah, they've handled them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Pinewood's going to be good.
Yeah, Pinewood Prep is looking like they're the next best ranked team. So it's looking like they're the team to beat.
I think
Pinewood's going to be good for the next few years because they got a good young group that's about to come through there. That's probably started through there now.
Who?
Like our age, like freshman age kids at Pinewood, they've got a good young travel team that was feeding into there.
But the funniest thing is, Hillnade Christians. The funniest thing is when you lose Slade and lose Roman and all of them.
Yeah,
they still got players underneath them that are.
They got some dudes coming from JV too.
Yeah. So like it's a system. They've built a system and a program at Hillnade Christian that's gonna be strong for at least the next few years, at least. You know, so it's
and if we want to be real transparent about how they've done it by being generous with their field to people that it makes sense to be generous with your facilities to, and it brings public kids around your facilities and makes them think about maybe going to play there. And you know, they do a good job, and that's part of marketing your program is getting people on your campus, and they do a great job of doing
the other thing is Hillnade Christian's baseball facilities are fantastic,
top notch.
Like, they are top tier,
top notch, and they let people use them. They don't just let them sit there.
Yeah,
empty.
I think public schools should take a page out of Hillnade Christian.
I'm telling you,
every now and then.
There's a lot of opportunity there. Look, when I was growing up in the Midwest, and I think this was true in a lot of parts of the country, when you know, up until maybe a couple decades ago, the public school campus was open. You could go walk the track. You could go, you know, like you could use the facilities. And of course, litigious nature of people and suing, you know, suing school districts when they got hurt doing something like that, is, you know, unfortunately has spoiled it for us. And now they've all got them all locked down, and they charge exorbitant amounts to rent them. And so you just have these wonderful facilities, taxpayer, you know, built facilities that are just empty most of the year, not being used. And it's just kind of silly. You know, they need to partner with nonprofit organizations and stuff, and get teams playing on those fields, in my mind. And using those facilities. So anyway,
Beaver County well, the funniest thing is Beaver County Parks and Rec, we've started lending out fields to travel teams as well, so we can see if those players can come in and start playing rec league ball when they're not playing travel ball, you know, like that.
Well, I mean, they should be. Kids that are playing travel ball before you're like high school age, you should absolutely also be playing rec ball. The only reason you're playing travel ball is to supplement rec ball, because rec's not enough. But you should still be playing rec.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. But the problem is nowadays there are a lot of players who are playing travel ball but will not play rec ball.
I know, and it's stupid. They won't play rec ball because it's a bad brand of ball, but it's only a bad brand of ball because the kids who know how to play ball won't play.
Well, it's a bad brand of ball until you hit all-star season. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
But the regular season doesn't have to be bad ball either if all the good players would play.
No, and that's that's the whole idea of us bringing in travel teams to be allowed to practice on those fields, because they need fields to practice on in the Beaufort area, like the Beaufort Bombers and the Crusaders, you know, a bunch of other travel teams from this area. We open the field to them because it will give them the idea of, hey, we could be playing rec ball, supplement that a little bit while we're playing our travel season as well. Like,
I don't think that's how it's working in Bluffton. I think you gotta fight to get on those fields in Bluffton. It's a little different.
Yeah, but they
But I
run.
think that's just the different communities. There's a little more
Yeah,
demand.
it's the unfortunate side of things because I think
Yeah.
the funniest thing with Bluffton is we in Beaufort we run like the baseball fields we run it through Beaufort County.
Right.
Correct.
Whereas
Well,
Bluffton Youth
whereas
Sports
Bluffton-
runs
yeah,
the
Bluffton Youth
baseball
Sports
league in
runs it
Bluffton.
with
Yeah.
the help of Beaufort County Parks and Rec, but
Right.
BYS really runs that whole show in
Yeah.
Bluffton. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunately the different side of things
Yeah.
there. But I think. Yeah, I think even up through the high school level, like I think high schoolers want to have fields to play on or practice on when they're not playing. And the problem
Mhm.
is outside of private schools who will allow it, the public schools just aren't doing it as much as they should
Yeah.
be, I think. And I think it's really a unfortunate thing because now in the days of the transfer portal within the South Carolina High School League, you should absolutely allow something like that where players might be interested in transferring from one high school to another to get the best opportunity they can possibly get. So I think that's
Yeah.
just got to find a balance and find a way to open these fields up because I think that's it's just what it is.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's how it
Aiden
used to
has a
be.
very good
You
point.
played rec till 12, and then you move on. But
the thing we do nowadays, because the funniest thing is like those fields at Beaufort County are open weekdays all day long,
Sure.
until the game starts playing during the spring season.
right, wide open.
No, they're always open. That's the thing. We keep them open. So if anybody wants to get some field practice in, have at it. I feel like that should be an opportunity, not just at the youth level. I think it should be an opportunity all the way through JV into high school ball as well. I think that should be something that we should be doing here more in Beaufort County and all the surrounding counties of Jasper, Colleton, and Hampton County. I think all of them should be doing something like that.
Amen. I got some other heritage fun facts before we get into our parting thoughts. Because I pulled up the round notes from PGA Tour. Did you know Ludwig Oberg only his second 18-hole lead or co-lead on the PGA Tour?
That's
Wow.
shocking.
Hard to believe.
Watching Ludwig Oberg, that's shocking.
But then again, I mean, how hard is it to win a PGA tournament? It is.
It's real hard. But it's the only time
he's leading the PGA tournament.
deal.
Well, it's extremely difficult, especially if it's a signature event like the RBC
Right.
Heritage, where you have the top
tough
golfers
field.
in the world and the top golfers on the FedEx Cup standings all playing on the same course with no cuts. Like it's extremely
Cream of
difficult.
the crop.
So the other time he led after 18 holes was at the 2025 Farmers Insurance Open, where he finished T42.
Oh wow, yeah.
That is why
rounds,
we have
4
talked
rounds
about
is a lot of golf.
KJHOA, and we have talked about all the other guys who led after 18.
There's been so many. Alex Cheka. I remember
we were
writing a
talking
spy
about
bar on
this.
him one time.
We were talking about, like Marcus said,
Belgium.
you don't win the tournament after round one.
Right.
It's 4 rounds, right?
Right.
And you saw that at the Masters this past week. Cameron Young. Look where Cameron Young finished. He finished third. He was sitting, I think, tied for 40 something going into the weekend at the Masters.
Yeah.
And busted
I love
his butt all
how
the way
this is
through
a
the
side
weekend.
note, but I love how the scoreboards show him as young Cam, like a rapper's.
Young Cam.
Young Cam.
Yeah, young Cam. I like that. Young Cam.
But that's what it is. Like Cameron Young was sitting tied for 40 something going into the weekend, and next thing you know, he's on Sunday with a 2-shot lead at one point over Rory McIlroy. Like that is the aspect. You don't win on round one. I mean, let's remind everyone, it's a lot of golf. 4 rounds is a lot of golf in just a weekend. Anything can change, and it definitely will change here at the Heritage this year.
Speaking of that, looking at the data golf, it did a great job with the analytics side of it and projections. Oberg does have the highest probabilities you would expect at over just over 15%. But Fitzpatrick is next at 13%, and the number 3, they still believe in Scotty Scheffler.
Scheffler,
clocks in an 8.4.
Well, he was
this course
favorite,
before it.
a betting favorite by a wide margin to open.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
is Cam Young here this week? He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Cam Young, not the best day. Well, even par, so not off, not like Justin Thomas or Tommy Fleetwood bad, but
yeah.
Hey man,
But
number 3 golfer in the world. He can
Right.
we've already seen him get his way back into the mix at
Oh
the
yeah,
Masters. It wouldn't
yeah. He
shock
could
me
easily
if
go
he-
out and shoot a couple 65s or
Yeah.
something and be right in it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, also, other fun facts: Ryan Fox making his Heritage debut. He withdrew before the start of last year's tournament with pneumonia.
I think I remember hearing that.
By the way, y'all do know who the
Fitzpatrick, 20 putts in his opening round. His fewest number of putts in a single round on tour, 620 rounds.
Wow, that's impressive.
He's only the 10th player to have 20 or fewer putts in a round at the RBC Heritage in the ShotLink era.
The
thing
just
is-
over. That means
Only
it's 2 over
only
1.
two
one
putts,
putt per
and all the
hole.
rest
Yeah,
were.
that's all
By
the
the
rest
way,
are 1 putts. That is incredible.
That's
if the
bananas.
weather continues,
That tells you two things. He's not getting the
Dialed
putts, but he's
in.
also sticking him close, which is
Yep.
really
Well,
important.
the funniest thing is, because we saw it last year, the thing that's really going to be interesting as the week continues, if this weather holds up the way it's been so far this week, where it's been on the warmer side of things and not super humid and not much weather at all, those greens are going to firm up real quick going
they're
into
hard.
the afternoons, and it could be an interesting day of golf for a lot of golfers.
Yeah.
Well, and they'll keep them wet, Thursday and Friday to keep them from burning up, but then they'll let them scorch on the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
let 'em
exactly
get
right.
fast.
And the funniest thing is that when those greens firm up, those greens at Harbor Town, that ball will move across the green with
Sure
no
will.
stop in sight. So it's very
It truly was like low scores today, though. 69.721 scoring average. It's the 18th time in 229 rounds since 1969 that the scoring average was under 70.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's
Really, yeah.
very,
Wow.
very impressive.
The PGA Tour pulls some incredible stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they got some people working and crunching those data very quickly. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the weather is looking like it's going to get, like I said, a little bit warmer. Low 80s. I think, low 80s the rest of the week.
Yeah, it
Clouding
looks
up
like
on
low to
Saturday and
mid
Sunday,
80s on
but still
Saturday when I'm
no
out there.
rain. Yeah, no rain in the forecast, but a little bit warmer. A little bit warmer weather going forward, but it looks like the conditions will be fairly favorable to keep those numbers coming, and I'm excited to see the numbers of leaders how far low they could keep it going, and how that winning number could turn out on Sunday. So it's the second days, the middle of the tournament is interesting because can those top guys continue? Who will fall off? Who will kind of rise from the pack? Exciting to see, especially when there's no cut. It gives the opportunity for someone to potentially rise from a spot a little below, and vice versa. We could see someone I don't expect Oberg to fall off, but we'll see. I mean, can Ricky Fowler continue his strong start? Andrew Novak, who lost in that playoff a year ago against Justin Thomas, and of course Michael Brennan, who had a kind of out of nowhere pretty solid opening round, and now he has to go in the afternoon versus some of those guys like Scheffler. Can he conjure up something big in the morning? Getting that morning start among some of the other guys. Matthew Fitzpatrick has 6 under in the afternoon. Now he gets a morning tee time. So
yeah, should be interesting. Should be very interesting.
Excuse me. One thing to watch. I saw that Oberg said he mentioned. I guess they put in new greens. I remember that now that they
redid basically they basically redid the entire
course, right? Every blade of grass, I believe.
Every fairway, every green, all of it.
Yeah. So Oberg noted that he felt like the greens were a little more subtle. They didn't break quite as much as he remembered them breaking in the past. They're a little more subtle.
The funniest thing is Justin Thomas mentioned that last year because we all knew they were going to redo those the entire course once the Heritage was done. Literally a month later, they'd be redoing the course, and Justin had mentioned after he had won the tournament, that post tournament press conference that we had in the media tent. He had mentioned, like, he basically was like, I really don't want them to replace those greens because they were just, they were fantastic greens. Obviously, he played very well on those greens, but they had a lot more break. And, basically the whole point of it was you replace those greens. The greens for the time being are going to be a little subtle within that first year of the tournament, but hopefully the break will change over time. But yeah,
that's the fun of it, because they can tinker
Yeah.
with the course from year to year, from event to event, and you kind of see, how that changes the leaderboard and the scope of which players can adjust to it. And unfortunately, JT not happy with how he performed today with a 5 over 76 alongside Tommy Fleetwood, who we mentioned earlier. So, we've seen that defending champs have been able to, at points, the Boo Weeklies of the world, but then we have some guys who.
Give me some Boo.
All I gotta say,
there's a Heritage champ that I would want to keep a really close eye on, because he had a good round today.
It's
Jordan Spieth.
Yes.
I have a feeling Jordan Spieth, because he had a really good final round of the Masters this past Sunday, finished at 5 under par for the tournament, and he had his best round on that Sunday. Like I like how Jordan Spieth's been playing as of late. He's been playing some of his best golf since, obviously that year where he won almost everything.
He shot 2 under, but he made a double on 8.
Yeah, and so like if he hadn't made that double there, like we'd be talking about Jordan Spieth, because he always has played well on this course. So I just feel with him sitting at 2 under through the first round, he's a player to definitely keep an eye on as we head towards the weekend.
Don't give up on him. Can't lay down there at 2 under as well.
Yeah,
and Shoffley. There's still, I mean, gosh, there's so
many golfers.
It's crazy. I mean, Wilmot always jokes about the 2 things you can't control are the weather and the leaderboard. And
I think you can't ask for much more. I think the leaderboard has taken care of itself, and it really comes back to ever since COVID, when that tournament got just a bigger attention, and I think that had a big impact of making this a signature event year after year now, and the players have continued to love it. And I was just thinking about this today when I was walking through the course. I mean, you look at the last 4 champions of this event, starting with Jordan Spieth, and then you go to Matthew Fitzpatrick, then Scotty Scheffler, then Justin Thomas. I mean, those are 4 cream of the crop, big names of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, four of the best of this generation of golfers, and that's kind of more true to the early history of the Heritage than the later middle portion. The MCI days. There were some lean years there as far as the field. There were years where we were counting how many top 50 players there were in the field, because
there were,
how many top 25 players there were wasn't very impressive, and stuff like that. And it was kind of lean for a while there, and we had some pretty unknown champs.
And you go back to
and you're right, that COVID year really reset things, because playing that tournament in June, it was first one out of the gate, right? So like all these people were itching to play, and they came to play here, and they were like, why have I been skipping this? Oh, because it's the week after the Masters, but it's just an hour and a half drive down there. Oh my God, I gotta go.
Right. Like, why not? And there's the funniest thing is the first alternate for the Heritage this week was
Brooks Koepka.
Yeah,
he didn't get in.
There was a video of him on CBS of him just sitting at Harbor Town, just was like, I want to play. I just want to play. Like
just hitting balls and hoping somebody drops out.
I mean, like that COVID tournament. I mean, me and my dad sat in the backyard of one of the apartments that sits on the course and just watched as the players go by. And you're like, wow, there are a lot of really good players here this year. And I think it really did set a fire under what the future and what we are seeing now in the RBC Heritage being a signature event. And I think it's great. And the funniest thing is, I'm sure you guys have seen maybe this week, is there's a chance Live Golf may not be around for much longer.
Yeah, there's a very good chance.
It's dead in the water.
Well, yeah, it's definitely underwater right now. Good. So there's a chance that a lot of those golfers will come over, and then you'll see even more top name golfers potentially, possibly next year at the RBC Heritage.
Interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if the tour welcomes them back with open arms, because
they allowed Brooks Koepka back, so I mean
they did.
I don't know about Bryson though. I don't know if they're going to let Bryson back.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting, but
there's always the DP World Tour. You could go there.
Seems the Live is short-lived. And good riddance to you, Live. What a stupid
honestly.
concept.
Honestly.
All right, let's get to our
Yeah,
sponsors
he
and
took
our
Bill
parting thoughts.
Nicholson away from us, y'all. That's terrible. I hate y'all for that.
Shout out to Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We had a new episode last night. I was able to sit in for Rich Basirico, who initially committed to do the show and then hit his day of and said, guys, I can't do the show tonight. It's my anniversary. And we said,
Smart
dude.
man.
So I had to jump in and
I knew I liked you, Rich.
You
Smart
should
man.
have said something. I would have hopped into the show. I wasn't doing anything yesterday.
Yeah, I was able to jump in and fill in for Rich. Well, you might have been the next call, either you or Marcus, if I needed to call somebody. But turned out my evening freed up, and I
got to do a show with them one day.
Anyway, Hudson Seafood House on the Docks,
Oh,
great spot for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island, right on Skull Creek. Beautiful place. Sit there, watch the sunset, have a couple drinks, get you a po' boy, Andrew style, and some of that slaw that Marcus likes, and you'll have a good night out at Hudson Seafood House on the Docks. And then if you mess up on the way home and you need a personal injury attorney, you can call on Twinge and Twombly, our friends over in Beaufort. They've got a rare name, but they provide remarkable service at Twinge and Twombly. So call on them. And if you get home and you're like, man, I just need a better view of the Lowco at this house, you call HHI Windows and Doors. Our old friend Coach Barron from HHP hung up his whistle. He's focused on a new kind of screens at HHI Windows and Doors. They want to improve your view of the Low Country. Reverence Wrestling Club wants to take your skills on the mat to the next level. So they're our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. They always look out for you over at Jay's. All right, time for our parting thoughts. Marcus Walsh, lead us off.
Well, all I have to say about round one of the Heritage is my pick, Tommy Fleetwood, wah. And then as far as a guy that I'm looking out for, I will quote, and he's one of my favorites to watch. I mentioned him a little bit earlier too. I will quote the great band Steely Dan.
Ooh.
And I always do this when I talk about this player. Ricky, don't lose that number.
Yeah, right.
And I was talking to JJ about this before we got on here tonight. Huge news out of Cleveland as they nearly had the first no-hitter in 45 years tonight.
Yeah.
Parker Messick. I was looking at the schedule.
Hold on.
I'm gonna be in Ohio at the beginning of June, second week of June technically, and the Funky Bunch, one of my uncles and I are going to the game June 10th against the Yanks. I am so hoping that we see Parker Messick pitch at Progressive Field on that Wednesday afternoon. Tremendous showing by that dude.
Yep.
He is 25 years old, booming presence on the mound. He reminds me of Oral Hershiser, but he has even more in terms of his arsenal, in my opinion. Oral Hershiser, in his younger days in LA, was certainly an ace. He has always, to me, been a bulldog, and that's exactly what Parker Messick is. Jose Ramirez is starting to get hot. He hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Cleveland only scored 4 runs, but that's all that they needed. They scored 4 runs on I want to say, maybe 5 or 6 hits. They didn't get many hits. And Shane Baz was almost as good as Parker Messick was. But somebody to have another golf quote. This one I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Somebody was just a little bit better.
Indeed.
Doing a Happy Gilmore paraphrase quote there. So big night out of Cleveland tonight too, and the Cavs get their playoffs going on Saturday.
Took no hitter tonight, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
How
many innings?
How many no hitters in Cleveland history?
Last one was 1981, Len Barker, and not only was that a no-hitter, that was a perfecto on Joe Tate's birthday, May 15th, 1981. I'm trying to think off the top of my head how old Joe Tate was that day. I think he turned about 40, maybe. But that was a big day back at the old stadium, Cleveland Municipal, May 15th, 1981. Just a matter of months before my parents got married.
Wow.
That's crazy. Especially considering that the first 2 no-hitters in Cleveland history, Cleveland baseball history, we'll call it. It happened when they were the Naps back in 1908. The first 2 no-hitters came just 2 weeks apart. And the second one was a perfect game. Bob Rhodes threw the first one on September 18th, 1908. And then on October 2nd, just a couple of weeks later, Addie Joss with the perfect game.
Wow.
So, there you go.
How about that?
I just learned that.
Easy.
1908.
I learned. All right, good stuff. Maxie, what you got, buddy?
I got 2 things. One that I forgot to mention last week. How about Hilton Head Christian Golf winning the Joe Monmonier Invitational at the Hilton Head Country Club? Defeated
awesome.
TL Hanna High School in a playoff. Sage Bradshaw, which we have not talked about enough this year, shot 8 under for the tournament and was the individual winner.
I think I did bring this up one night, actually.
Did you? Oh,
yeah, the night that we talked about them dedicating the field.
I think you mentioned that they're having the golf tournament.
You did. That's right.
I remembered when you said that Sage won in a playoff because I was like, yeah, Sage won in a playoff and the team won in a playoff. I do remember that.
Well, the funniest thing is Ryan Strebe had the clutch birdie in the playoff to secure the win.
Ryan Strebe?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Strebe, man.
I coached Strebe in baseball years back.
It's cool.
Oh, man.
Ryan.
I had coached Strebe as a PE teacher
mom
when I was in elementary school.
Way back.
I remember when I had Strebe as a PE teacher in elementary school.
Well, I remember when I first got here, he was the girls' basketball coach.
But I mean, Sage Bradshaw, by the way, 8 under at the Invitational.
Crazy,
that's impressive from him. That dude, I can't wait to see where I can't wait to see him play at the next level.
He's a great, not just a great golfer, but a great kid, and was really impressed when I got to meet him a couple years back. Just awesome kid, top to bottom.
Heck of a golfer.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, heck of a golfer. Yeah. And then the other one I was going to mention last week, and I never got to it because during the Masters, I think it was Saturday morning, I was watching the final round for whatever reason, came up on YouTube, and I was like, I'm bored, I have nothing better to do, might as well. And I watched the final round of the 1998 Masters tournament. Now, I want y'all to try to bear with me here. So Mark O'Meara won the 1998 Masters, his first and only Masters win. Fred Couples finished second. Jim Furyk finished third. And then tied for fifth. I want y'all to take a guess at one of the golfers I'm thinking of that tied for fifth in that tournament.
1998.
I just looked up.
Y'all will get this one. And this, in my opinion, makes it one of his most memorable non-big-time Masters moments. So
was it Tiger? No, Tiger. No, he missed the cut.
It was Tiger. One of them.
He did not miss the cut that year, but he did not finish fifth.
Okay,
he actually finished. He finished 2 shots back of fifth.
98 was it?
Phil Mickelson finished a shot behind.
Who is it? I don't know.
It was Jack Nicklaus.
No, he's tied for. I just looked. He was tied for.
The 98 Masters. Yeah. I actually did know that. Did know that
Jack
because
Nicklaus was 58 years old. Yeah, tied for 6th.
So yeah, he won it at 46, and then he made a real run at it at 58.
Well, and the funny thing is, he finished 5 under for the round. He shot a 4 under in that final round to put him in contention at one point to win that. To basically sit as
I was too young to really.
Well,
I was.
I remember.
So I had no idea about this.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I was.
And then Watson
about 10,
the
but
British a few years ago. It's like 20 years ago. Now. It feels like a few years ago.
I was just watching it on YouTube, and I was like, boy, for a 58-year-old, he could hit the ball still to that day.
The other time that reminded me of was when Tom Watson almost won the Open Championship.
Yes,
that's right.
That was phenomenal.
Tom
Love
Watson was
Tom
playing the
Watson.
Masters until he was in his 60s. So I mean, like he
Tom
actually
Watson's
had
the coolest dude.
Damn straight. Yep.
anyway.
Just the coolest
So
dude.
I saw that and I forgot to share it with y'all last week, so I thought I would because it was one of my favorite things that I watched from this past
Good stuff.
weekend. I watched it Saturday morning and I was like, wow, it's really cool to watch.
28
the other thing
years ago. Holy
I
cow.
know it's crazy to think. And
Bro, but I mean, look, yeah. Yep.
it's
Crazy
crazy.
stuff.
It's crazy. And the other thing I was
all
gonna
right.
say is
So
Wait, Max has
Wait,
one
you got
more.
You do?
the last thing I was going to say is my Atlanta Braves are playing fantastic and are currently the only team in Major League Baseball who has not lost a series yet this year.
Really?
So, yeah.
They
You would
kicked
think
our
the Dodgers
butts.
would be
I
on
mean,
that list,
they
but they're not.
you kind of thought that they would bounce back this year after just
Well,
things
they're
didn't go
still
right.
missing half their starting rotation right now, which is crazy to
I
think
think the
about.
more
Nuts.
surprising thing is you look at the Phillies, you look at the Mets, they're both below 500. They're in second.
By the way,
Phillies are in
that's a
they're in
big
the bottom
series.
two spots in the division.
Yeah.
Washington's ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, by a half
Exactly.
a game over Philly. It's way too early, and Miami is too. But
I
like
know,
I
yes,
said,
it is way too early.
Yeah.
But
It's
big
wild.
series coming up this weekend. The Braves are in Philadelphia to take on the Phillies this weekend. So I am definitely going to be watching that when I get
but
home.
it's cool to
tomorrow
see. It's cool to see Carmen Majeski's Pirates off to
Yeah.
a good start as well and tied for first.
You're
in
up, Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
you're
up.
up.
I am up. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got kind of two of them here tonight. First off, just great to be back at the RBC Heritage. And I appreciate everyone who shouted me out when I walked past them in the gallery. There was like 2 or 3 groups of kids, I think, that recognized me. So
Nice.
yeah, it's
Nice.
cool to see people watch and follow this podcast, and then to be walking through the course and to get pointed out
great-
like that. I appreciate
it's
it.
great.
It's cool. Yeah.
Love it.
Um,
Always good.
love it, especially from not just in golf, but it seems like whenever I'm at the Heritage, you hear like you see some high school students will shout me out, and I think that's always kind of cool to
Oh yeah.
when that happens. And yeah,
Shout out to the media crew that keeps the RBC Heritage running in terms of media
yeah.
too, because they always do.
You were talking about them earlier this week for sure, and
Wes.
Just
can't
to-
thank them enough.
trying to pull it up real quick because it's I'm trying to share a screen, but
Oh,
yes. So I kind of talked about USCV and that crazy start that they had against Savannah State, but that pales in comparison to what happened between Lehigh and Coppin State
Oh yeah.
2 days ago.
I
One
have
of the
no idea about
craziest
this.
starts that you will see in any game. How about a 20-run first inning? Yeah, that's not a
I'm
typo.
sorry.
20 runs in the first inning. In the
Wow.
first inning, as Lehigh got the 38-6 win over
Damn.
Coppin.
38-6.
And yes, and one of the
Scroll down so you can see that inning by
yeah, I
inning.
mean,
Wow.
Are you sure this isn't a spring football
yes,
game?
this is the recap. Let me get to the box score.
Scroll
here.
down just a little bit so we can see the.
Are you
the
sure
inning
this,
by inning.
Wes? Are you sure this isn't an
Yeah, well, I'm pulling
intramural
up the box
spring
score.
football game?
Well, we're on the box score.
No, this wasn't a tremendous score football spring football. I'll pull up the
Oh,
box
man.
score if it's my
It
computer.
shows that it's on the
Yes.
box
Oh,
score.
It does say baseball. That's insane.
Oh, it is. Okay, maybe it's just my.
That's wild.
Okay, here we go. It's
Scroll down a
it's
little bit. so we
Scrolling
can see
down
that
right.
inning by inning.
Yeah, here we go. 20 runs. Oh, I scrolled too far. 20 runs in the first inning. Just crazy stuff. But some more interesting tidbits and notes as I.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
20
insane.
runs in that first. I gotta.
At what
That's-
point did Coppin
It-
State
Yes.
just be like, "Yeah, I'm done.
Let's get
I
back
don't
on the
want- I don't
bus."
want to be here anymore. Can we go to the bus now?"
That's
Just
wild.
that's insane.
Whoa.
38-6.
Yeah, 20 runs in
Great
the
Mike
first.
Keegan once
But
said you never know what
some
you're
other
gonna
notes
see.
that I saw. I'm trying to pull up more of the box score on here, but my computer is
I'm
running
intrigued to
too.
see how many homers they had.
Yeah, but yeah, what an insanely crazy just box score and pole game between those two teams. But just yeah, I'm let me just pull up the some notes that I saw. There's some more records. Of course, 20 runs that they put up in the first inning was a Division I record, as you may have expected there. But some other records were broken as well throughout that. I feel for whoever had to be the sports information director over there to the stat team because yes. Maybe more so on the. Oh yeah, because was it at Coppin State or is it at?
No, it was at Coppin State.
Coppin State. Yeah, really feel for the Coppin State SID who had to score that game. That was, yeah,
that's rough. Your team's getting
manhandled like that. Yeah, no doubt. But what I was trying to do is have.
They only played 7 innings.
Yeah, they only played 7 innings. So here's some more tidbits from this. Senior Aiden Quinn drew 7 walks in the ball game, which is broke the NCAA record for the most walks drawn by one player in a game. 7 walks in one game. Yep. I believe he had 38 runs, the most runs ever scored in a game by a Patriot League team. The win was given to Noah Guyach-Quirk, who struck out 4 batters. So just an astounding 20-run first inning, and then pull up the final numbers real quick, and then we can move on. But let's see, 20 runs. 20 runs in the first, 38 runs total on 12 hits.
25 walks, 9
25 walks. Yeah, that's what I was looking for next.
11 wild pitches.
Only 1 home run, a couple of doubles. But yeah, most of the damage were 8 RBIs for Owen Wellwander in a game. But I think the craziest stat was the 7 walks by Aiden Quinn.
That's
outrageous.
That's insane.
He only had 1 at bat. He drew 7 walks, but he had 4 RBIs and 5 runs scored.
That's bananas, and that is not good.
Absolutely insane game.
I see what you've pulled up, Justin. I've seen this. I saw this earlier this week.
What else you got, Wes? Anything else?
That was it. Those were the 2.
Right, cool. So I one up you here because there was a high school softball game in Louisiana. That's the final score.
Oh my
God. That's a high school.
You read it right. Game. You got the innings there. It was 4-0. It was 6 to go.
Oh my God!
17-11. But they never got to the run rule. It looked like they were going to when they got to.
That is crazy.
It was.
What was the total?
It was 40 to 22. 40 to 22.
Yeah.
And they gave up 5. Which got them inside the 15-run rule. So it was 15-7. Then they put up a 0. So that kind of messed everything up. And then they got 5 more. So they got inside the 10-run rule. So we got to keep playing. But ultimately, Southwood beats Huntington 54 to 45.
54 to 45.
I got 2 questions.
Here we go. 99 runs scored. That beats the national record by 4. There were only 21 hits in the game. The game went all 7 innings. There were 62 batters hit by pitch. The game lasted 5 hours and ended at midnight.
I wonder how many boxes of Wheaties were eaten before the game.
They probably went through all the snacks.
Lord.
Because they could not.
I guess not.
Look,
wow.
Look, we have flirted with games like this in the past. They are wild. We had like a 30-27 last year. It was insane.
But here, I agree with you, Justin. I saw a couple of those games last year, and they were wild.
They are insane.
Can you begin to imagine if you were one of the parents of one of those kids and had to sit 5 hours to watch?
I'm going to tell you right now, some of my parents would just start taking their children
home.
we would run out of, we would have to forfeit because they'd just start taking their children.
Come on, bud. We're going to Waffle House. Get you some waffles, stack up real quick, and then we'll get you back out for the game. Hopefully,
because if they showed up to pick them up at 9 and we was like, oh, we're only in the 3rd inning. And then they came back at 10 and we were like, yeah, we're in the 4th now. and like they would just take them at some point.
Wow.
And I'm
Well, you'll always remember that game if you were part of it, and that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah. All right, so I got two more. You mentioned
Imagine if
Carmen
that was a
Majensky, Wes.
Yep.
Carmen Majensky, a terrific outing last night.
Yes,
He
I saw
went,
that.
He did have
6
a great
scoreless in relief because they did an opener. And he is killing it. He's killing the game this year.
That's fantastic.
He's now down to a 1.77 ERA.
Yeah, got this first win of the year as well, and that is just outstanding to see because this is a guy that came in as a reliever and a setup man, and now he's I don't know if he wasn't the starter.
Well, he was a starter in college.
He actually did start a game earlier this year, or game or two, but yeah, he wasn't the starter. Montgomery was the opener, which is how it goes a lot of the time in Major League Baseball now. But man, yeah, Holdy started. I guess obviously it wasn't a start, but like he
right.
threw
Would have been a
guy.
6 scoreless innings and struck out 5. Just terrific stuff from Carmen and
amazing outing.
Yeah, it's just lost in the
Hilton
Seahawks, who was a shortstop. I called his games at Hilton High as a shortstop, and now he's developed into a heck of a major league pitcher, and that's shows how good the baseball is.
I had to hit against him when I was in high school. That was not the funniest memories of my baseball playing days. Just saying. But I will say this because he was injured. He had a pretty bad injury last year that basically took him out for a good chunk of the season. And at that point, he was a starter for the Pirates. And I think a lot of teams nowadays will put pitchers in relief positions to get them back to what they are and possibly put them back into a starting position as a starting pitcher. So, and it usually works out pretty well a lot of the time. So might be something the Pirates are trying to do here, but nonetheless, he's pitching.
Yeah, they've kind of wavered at times about how they wanted to use him, but they seem pretty committed to trying to use him as a starter, it seems like.
Yeah. So, he's done pretty...
But then they also got, Jared Jones coming up too, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. They got some pitchers. They're going to have quite the pitching staff sooner rather than later.
They scare me this year. And the NL Central's fun. Everybody's over 500. Cubs are right at 500, and they're in last place.
It's fun, but it's also
only a game and a half out.
Stressful if you're in the NL Central.
Yeah, it's stressful.
Yeah. Really early.
Both the National League, both the Central and the East are probably the two most stressful divisions right now.
Oh, yeah, I ain't stressing about nothing because it's so early. But shaping up
AL Central's.
But if it keeps going that way, AL Central.
And then I have one other. Excuse me. Came across this the other night. I shared it with you guys on the group chat. Where'd it go? We have predicted this. We said that there was no question that this young man was going to become a coach. It was just a matter of when and where. And Lee Kirkland, former Bluffton Bobcat standout, who went on to break all the records at UPike up in Kentucky. Is it in Kentucky or Ohio?
Kentucky, I believe.
Yeah. Up at UPike, he broke all the passing records. He passed for 1 million yards and 1 million touchdowns. He has caught on with the coaching staff at Great Crossing High School. I have not yet looked up what state Great Crossing High School is in. But he's going to be the quarterback and quarterback's coach and pass game coordinator, which sounds like an outstanding landing spot for him. His dad, of course, a coach, longtime coach here in the Lowco. Was the head coach at Ridgeland. The last time they were really good, Coach Tyree Simmons over there, and then has been at Bluffton for a long, long time. And Lee had a great career at Bluffton, and then went on to UPike and did big things. And hopefully this is the start of a long and very successful coaching career for him.
Yeah. 100%.
What a guy.
Yes. And just what an awesome guy.
Many of his games.
Just to remind you that Lee Kirkland once, while he was playing for the UPike Bears, passed for 646 yards in a game and 11 touchdowns in the same game.
Broke all the passing records over there. It seemed
everything.
To be that way.
I build a statue of that guy.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah,
that is insane.
All right, boys. Well, that's all I got. I promise.
By the way, no, I got one more that I saw today. that
Oh, yeah.
Amari Patterson picked up another offer. The Cincinnati Bearcats have called his number, and so his recruiting story continues.
He up to 40 schools at
He is
this
looking
point?
like he's going to have a lot of
Yeah,
big.
I would suggest it's probably between Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida, but I don't know anything.
I don't know if South Carolina is going to be on the radar. I mean, yeah, obviously he's obviously a receiver in the state of South Carolina, but with
Well,
how
it
the South
depends. If
Carolina
they back up
programs
the
keep
Brinks
going-
truck, let's be real about what it's about at this stage.
Yeah, true. That's true. I'm not denying that. But if you want to have the money and success, like I don't know if South Carolina would be on that list right now.
Oh no, there's
but-
guys getting drafted from South Carolina every year.
True.
Like, it ain't like South Carolina's in the SEC. It ain't.
They are in the SEC, and I'll give you that.
I don't like
but-
them, so don't
I don't-
get it
well,
twisted.
no, I don't.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying it
either.
is the home state school.
Yeah, but you also, well, yeah. If you want to have success at the college level, I wouldn't say South Carolina is a bad school to go to. Obviously, like you said, it's an SEC school. But if you want to, I don't know. It would be interesting to see where he ends up going because those aren't even the only SEC schools.
I think
seemed-
South Carolina can be a great SEC school in the
He seemed
future.
real hype about Florida, and he seems
Yes.
real hype about Georgia.
Georgia.
I bet he
Yeah.
goes to one of those two.
That would be my guess, and I just
My-
threw. South
my
Carolina
guess is
there
Florida.
still hasn't
outside.
offered him. What are they doing?
Huh?
Clemson still hasn't offered them.
Yeah,
What are they doing?
yeah. I
What
don't
are they
know.
doing? Seriously,
Yeah, that
the
man's
number one
stubborn.
receiver in the state of South Carolina.
Uh,
You haven't offered him yet.
That man's
Clemson has
Man,
been
it's stubborn.
interesting and befuddling in many different ways the last couple of years with that football program. I don't. Sometimes I don't know what they're trying to do, but it's
Yeah.
Neither do
Intrigued to
they.
see what they do this year because who the hell?
All right,
knows?
boys. Well, good stuff. We'll do it again tomorrow night because the
Yes.
Heritage is on, baby.
Yeah.
So we'll get back in here, round up round 2 of the Heritage and whatever else is going on around the Lowco, and be on our merry ways. So thanks to all of our sponsors for making it possible. Thanks to you for showing up to listen or watch. For Marcus Walsh, Max Araj, and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till tomorrow night, go Lowco.